Hi, this is Charlie Mato-Toyela from Blue Bear Flutes. I wanted to give you guys another brief little, I guess, tip and trick on how to do something kind of cool that you might enjoy. This one actually comes with a downloadable image that you can get off of our website, which is bluebearflutes.com for those of you first time joining us in here. And of course, to those of you first time joining us in with us, I would like to apologize for always being filthy, which you'll see in a lot of my other videos. But when you work in a wood shop 24/7 and you make all these flutes yourself, it's a lot of work and there's a lot of sawdust. But anyway, what we're going to look at here is how to make a flute block. And we've got several other flute block videos. We've got flute blocks made out of, or totem for those of you that belong to the flute circles. Anyway, the flute block videos, we've got one that's a simple one in case you need one for like a river cane flute or bamboo flute. And then we have a flute block video for a more advanced one, which is very general and gives you a lot of good ideas, but I wanted to be a little more specific this time and show you exactly how to do this so that you can work with what you've got and see what we're going to be doing. Anyway, so if you want to take a look here, we're going to be making the bear flute block that you might see on some of our flutes that are on our website. Of course, a lot of you that have ordered flutes and haven't specified a specific flute block have gotten one of those bears. The bear is a really neat flute block design that we use. It's one just like any. You may find on the web a design that you like and think, well, this is great, or you may have a design in mind or one in person that you really love, and then you wonder, how am I going to put that on a piece of wood, or how am I going to put it on paper? Well, it's a lot easier than you think. This is our new crow design, and we've been just kind of tracing over and over and over. This is the bear design. The crow will probably do on the next flute block tip and trick video, but the bear today, here's just a piece of pine, just a real simple flat piece of wood, and the design that you'll be downloading has several different bears within a bear to allow you to make a large or small flute block depending on what yours needs to look like. But what we're going to use is just a piece of carbon paper. You don't even really have to use this if you press down hard enough on your paper once you print this little design out. And there's going to be some of this design that you may not use, like the front and back extensions that you see. I just went around one of them. Those are really there in case you want to make your bear a certain size and your track area requires it to be a little bigger. I don't know how many times I've said it or written it down in our book of flute making, but there are a lot of different ways to do this. And let's see, so we've done that. There he goes. Doesn't look too bad. You could retrace it if you felt the need to. But I'm going to bring it over here to my saw and get to cutting on it. So we went ahead and cut it out. I'll show you some finer detail of it in just a minute, but I'm going to go ahead and drill this area. Back before I had a scroll saw, in the past I've used and had several band saws and scroll saws and all kinds of stuff, but back before I bought this last one, I used to use my drill press here to cut these flute blocks out with. It was a little time consuming, but I got really good at it. So as an option, for those of you that don't have scroll saws, but you might have a drill press, I'll tell you, this drill does a number on it. You can take a small drill bit like this, and you can drill all the way around until you get all the way to the other side, and it cuts just about as well, but it's not nearly as fast, so that's why we use other tools these days. I'm going to go ahead and take it back over to the sander here so you can see where we're going to go, and I'll show you how to finish this little guy up. So I realize a lot of you may not have a flatbed sander like I use here to sand these pieces. You can actually take a piece of sandpaper and hold it flat on a table and go back and forth. Yes, it is a little time consuming, but I don't know how many flutes you're going to make. Are you going to make 1,000 of them today, or are you going to make one or two? You know, this might be a good method for you, just to sand back and forth like that. I've done that a lot myself, so it's definitely a good technique. I should have mentioned to you the reason we drilled this hole was not only to make a nice design so you have a bear with a really big back end and a really small front end with his feet there, but also this is where we're going to tie our leather at. And of course, for those of you that have a longer track area who want to tie it around here or tie it around there, you can do that too. So lots of options. But I'm going to show you how to finish them up kind of quickly, and then we'll use some hand sandpaper to really put the touches right on the end of it there. Okay, so for those of you who wonder if our flute blocks are made in a factory, I think this probably answers your question. I mean, that was a really quick little cutout of a bear. Beautiful design. I love this design a lot. Of course, you know, we have Blue Bear flute, so you would imagine. But you can take some hand sandpaper now and sand his face and in front of his ears, on the other side of his face. You might want to spend a lot more time on it than I'm going to spend right here today. And of course, our flutes that we send out usually have a lot more time in it than what is involved right here. But this is just a quick little video to give you some tips on how you can make your own flute blocks and make them look really nice. Every time I do one of these type of videos, I always think about Bob Ross, and I had this one subscriber who compared me to Bob Ross and how much of an honor that was. The reason I bring that up is because I think about Bob Ross a lot when I do this. What I want to show you is the quick way to do this, and then of course please go back and spend more time on it. As you notice, we sanded off this area here, and then there was another line that's called a grind line, and we sanded that grind line off, and then we created another grind over here and then sanded that grind line off. If you notice, there's still a little ridge right here, and I could really sand it with the belt sander again. What I usually do at this point is go back and finish it all by hand, but one place I like to make a distinguishing mark is his neck. Something that I bet a lot of you don't think about is animals' necks. Our eagle whistles and all of our animal totems that we make and lots of other things that we make have a very distinctive neck. The head of most everything is considered to be the pinnacle or the most important part of it. And the neck is what separates the body from that most important feature. So if you can do that, regardless of the size or shape of its body, you can really come across here and show people what you think about this animal and really get into it. One other place I like to do a little separation is in between his ears here, and I usually have a burning tool going at the same time I do this, so I usually use it to burn the area between his ears out. I'm going to refold my sandpaper. So I usually burn it out with a burning tool, and then I come back with the sandpaper. The reason I don't use a Dremel to do this, because my Dremel usually has other bits in it. But sandpaper does great, as you probably have noticed. See his little ear separation there? And then just give him a more of a round face. Now at this point, if you wanted to go even further, I used to drill a hole in between his legs there to give a separation there, and sometimes I would drill one back here, but with the bear, a lot of times they're sitting down, and this is kind of like, you don't know if he's sitting down or standing up, so I'd like to leave that one without drilling. But this one here would be, you know, definitely feasible, a good idea to do that. And if you wanted to go a step further, a little trick that I use, I'm going to reach over my camera woman here. I used to heat up the end of a drill bit, and I would burn it right in there, and it made the most beautiful little black eyes. Of course, I wouldn't hold the drill bit in my fingers while I do this, by the way. I would use a pair of pliers. But heat it up with a torch and just, and you've got two nice little eyes. But that's it. You know, I hope you've enjoyed our videos, and definitely enjoy making Native American flutes. That's what I'm trying to be all about here for you, is to help you learn to enjoy this, as a lot of people in the world really really love the flute and love to play the flute. Many of you want to make flutes, and you know, that's what I'm here for. So in either case, this is Charlie Mato-Toyela signing out for bluebearflutes.com, and also our Facebook page is, of course, you can find us if you just Google Blue Bear Flutes with any search engine. I think we come up these days. But I'll leave this guy sitting on the table for you, and feel free to check out our website on the flute making tab at the top. You're going to see, after you click on that, you'll see a link on the page that has a image of our bear design for making your own block. Just download it, print it out, and pick out which size fits your flute the best. trace it out on a piece of wood or whatever your material that you prefer is. Stone does make a really nice block, and you can find it in a lot of hobby stores. There's a piece of alabaster here. But stone isn't as forgiving as wood is and could crack if you start to tie it down wrong. So just keep in mind, know what it is that you're working with and know how to work with it. But thank you guys very much again, and happy flute making.